want to go a bit bigger, and they go, right, we'll do 1.5, and I was like, do 3. So there's a bit here in the hair. Because I had become a caricature in terms of how I looked. It'd be madness to think that you could have a procedure like that done and it not get swollen. I started with a little bit of Bowie, which I think I actually filmed my first Botox on Towie, and I'd forgot all about, because obviously over the course of 10 years on the show, there's certain scenes that stand out, but a lot I've forgotten. It wasn't until I was doing This Morning last week, and I just saw over Kat's shoulder a screen playing, and it was me laying on a sofa holding Gemma's hand, having Botox for the first time. I was having Botox and filler every 12 weeks, which I would certainly not advise. I'm not a medical professional, so don't take my advice when it comes to anything like that. But I was down the rabbit hole quite quickly. So if you went to go and have a consultation, they might say, we'll do $500,000. My head was always double it. So I'd go, right, we'll have 1. And then I'd go, I want to go a bit bigger, and they'd go, right, we'll do 1.5. And I was like, do 3. So every 12 weeks, you can imagine how much I did. Looking back now, I can see what the trolls were saying. I kind of have to thank them for it, because I had become a caricature in terms of how I looked. But surgery and cosmetic treatments should never be a fashion thing. But this was, and I'm not trying to, maybe subconsciously I'm defending my actions, but this was the fashion at the time. Was everything was to the excess. I remember girls on the show was putting like 3 strips of lashes on before individuals even really existed. So it was 3 sets. I remember they was having 2 sets of hair extensions put in their head. Our tans were, everything was over the top. I always get bashed on socials for my people say I'm a surgery addict and that kind of thing. I actually, considering what I could have done, I've had relatively little. I could do a lot more. I mean, I'm not saying I've only had a little bit, I grant it, but I'm always just very open, and I don't think everyone always is, and that's a different story, and I don't judge anyone. But yeah, it's not like I just grab everything because it is free. So for me, the face is generally, I'd wanted to wait. And because I just know it, Bobby, if you do it in your 30s, you're already getting annihilated if you go and do your teeth. So I knew if I had a face before 40s, even 40s relatively young, there is no age when it comes to surgery. But where I'd abused fillers so badly, I'd stretched my skin out. It was never ever going to go back to what it was. So if you have subtle amounts of filler, you can have it dissolved. But there's no guarantee, and again, I'm not no doctor, so everyone would have to do their own research on it. But sometimes you cross a point of no return, and where I'd gone so excessive with my face, in particular, like my cheeks, that skin, it was too stretched out for too many years to ever go back to what it was. So I could have facials forever. I could keep trying to slap on oily Ulay or anything else. It was never going to tighten up the damage I'd done through fillers, and that was from my own addiction to filler. Really, just going more. So it stretched and stretched and stretched. So the only way was to have the lift. So I was quite open again. Like, I'm an open book. I'd said on socials when I was having it all dissolved. I even had, I think I put a video at one point of having being dissolved at the time. And then people still say, no, you ain't dissolved it, you've got fillers. I mean, I've always had quite pronounced cheeks anyway. But where the skin was still so stretched out, it still looked like there was fillers. And everyone was like, well, you look like an hamster, you've obviously got fillers. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I'm rowing with these faceless accounts that I've got no idea who they are, justifying myself when I've actually filmed that I've had the fillers removed. And anyway, to try and answer to a troll is the beginning of madness, so you can't live your life for them. But when I was then having consultations and just in a beauty salon having facials and things, they went, look, your skin will never fully go, because that's just excess skin. It's like if someone, and you're seeing it now like with the rise of the jabs, where everyone's on the old Jaro and that, if people drop too much weight, the skin doesn't go in as it would if it's done slowly. So you find a lot of people end up having tummy tucks and things done because there's just excess skin which can never go back. And it's kind of the same for the face. So then I've contacted the clinic and was like, this is what I want done. And they're fantastic in terms of, no, they would, if I just said, oh, because I think people, when you say face, if people think I've gone to go and be younger, like I've gone to make me look 19, you never, A, you wouldn't want to look 19. And B, it's never possible, because I think if I'm striving for youth, you're never going to be, that's the beginning of the end, because you're never going to get to that. But for me, it was to correct my own stupidity of fillers.
Can you show me the incisions that you don't, is there any?
So,
Oh, let's have a look.
if you can see.
Wow. I don't know if you can get any of that.
Yeah.
So
So there's a bit here in the
talk
hairline.
us what they did to you then.
Joe, I don't actually really know.
They probably, it looks like they've cut around your ear.
So yeah, so they're very good in terms of it's putting natural crevices of your body, I think. So behind your ear, because I had my neck done as well.
Wow. Oh, that's why it's all around
So
your
at the
ear then.
back, I've then got. There's probably, I don't know if you can see anything there, but
I
that's
can't actually see anything, but so there is some incisions at the back?
yeah. I think I had 2 stitches here, but again they put it into your hairline.
And that will continue to heal, I imagine, won't it?
Well, I think that's all. I mean,
That's
obviously
all
I'm still
healed.
swollen. That's still healed.
But you can only just see around your ear, but that will definitely heal.
Oh,
won't
definitely.
it?
Bearing in mind, I'm still only 11 weeks. And in the last 7 days, the difference in my swelling is... But the things with facelift, everyone heals different. And you cannot... Sometimes they say your true result, it just keeps getting better and better. So even 9 months later, because I do my research, looking at people online, some people go, even 9 months, you just see slowly your face contouring into itself. Get picked up from the airport, go to a hotel the night before, and yeah, you then see your doctor, you have another consultation, you have all your tests and stuff done whilst you're waiting, speaking to your patient coordinator, and then, yeah, you have your pre-med, which I don't think you get in the UK.
What's a pre-med?
Pre-med's kind of before, in England, if you have something done, you kind of often sometimes, I know when I've had surgeries done over here, you physically walk sometimes to the operating theatre over here. In Turkey, they come over and you have a little sank in the room. So you very rarely, I couldn't tell you much.
They give you a little Valium.
You have a lovely little something, yeah. I think in terms of when I'm over there, because you've always got your person, you've got your go-to, which you wouldn't have in England, do you know what I mean? You'd have your amazing nurses, and nurses are incredible, as we know. But this person is like, it's there to explain everything, knows everything. But I do my research, but I never make the mistake of YouTubing the actual surgeries anymore, because that weren't a good thing to do with a nose job. I was completely expecting it to get swollen, because it'd be madness to think that you could have a procedure like that done and it not get swollen. You're having your skin incisioned, if that's a word, and there's gonna be swelling, because I ain't been to Champneys for 2 days. Do you know what I mean? It surged.
Did it hurt afterwards? Were you in pain?
No, not
You weren't in
at all.
any pain?
No.
How
I have
long
amazing
before
pain,
you
but-
flew home then? You stayed there for a few days, did you?
Yeah, I think a week or so.
Stayed there for a whole week?
Yeah,
and they
I think
just
a week
looked
or
after
8
you?
days, yeah. There's no way I would ever do fillers and that to my skin now, because that's what I've had to do, the facelift. For me to go and put filler in again and stretch it back out, it would just counteract everything that I've done and the amazing work I've had. So for me, fillers, it's just completely off the table. If I wanted to have fillers, it would have been easier to just go and have more fillers and not redo my face. If I was going to fill the skin back out again, I wouldn't have had to do what I've done to get here. So yeah, fillers is a no. I'll be honest, but Botox will still probably be on the table. Of course it will. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But Botox doesn't stretch your. It's not like a filler. It's not voluminous. Gemma become like my sister. We were best mates, ride or die. Yeah, we had some ding dongs, but I think a lot of people used to be scared of Gem. She never really intimidated me because she was just my big sister, and although we'd fall out and it was like siblings would do that, but yeah, we were very much like a little double act. Like even to this day, I still get messages from people. Me and Gemma, one year we'd become like a Halloween costume. And people was messaging me, they had the Louis Vuitton bag, I don't remember what Gemma was wearing, and there's like 3 or 4 people dressed as me and Gemma. And we was like, gosh, can you believe that we're fancy dress costumes? I don't know if that's I take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
But, I mean, orange as you like, as we were back then. But yeah, we were best friends and brother and sister. I last saw Gem Christmas 2019, so it was just before the pandemic. We had the pandemic, so yeah, we filmed. I think she come and did a scene with me in a Christmas special, I think for Towie 2019, and then we went into madness in the March, didn't we, the 2020, and it's we swapped a few texts because I got the COVID. And we texted a couple of times, and it's a real tough one because she was my, like I say, she was the sister I've never had, and she was my best mate, and you know, life gets in the way sometimes, and things happen, but she did a podcast a few months ago. I think it was before. Yeah, it must have been before I had my face done. And not long before, and I was in the B&Ms, I love the B&Ms. And this woman come running over to me, and she's like, oh my God, Bobby, you've got to get in touch with the GC, she's trying to get hold of you. And my first instinct was, oh my God, what's happened? Is she okay? And I thought, well, and I didn't know who this lady was and how she knew Gem. But she was like, oh, it's in the papers, I've just read it on my phone. And I thought, what? And I didn't really understand, but she'd done a podcast, said she'd love to see me or to catch up. I think she was on Jess Wright's podcast that she does with Carol. And she's like, well, I love you two, you're my favourite double act, you're like Bonnie and Clyde. I mean, minus the bank robbing and the murders and stuff, obviously. But, and we really, like, we used to, when I look back, we were a little bit of a double act. I think that's what in terms of like the social stuff and from fans of Towie back in the day, they kind of loved that dynamic, and it is kind of sad that we grew apart. But yes, we had the craziness of 2020, and I don't know, I can't remember if it was addressed on the show or not, really, basically. But it was a tough. My relationship, something to do with a past relationship, which was 100 years ago. And
is it Charlie?
No.
Oh, Harry. It was Harry.
Yeah.
Forgot about you and Harry.
And she was kind of caught in the middle of it, and for various reasons I won't go into it because of the situation now. It was a tough one. And I get, with retrospect, she was kind of stuck in the middle. There was something that just didn't sit well with me about it, but time passes, and it's like everyone, I don't wish anyone any harm or bad feeling. It would never be for me to tell someone who they can and can't be friends with, but something had happened when I was with him while she was there, and it's a long story, like, and alleged. It just becomes a little bit messy to go into. But she was aware, but I believe she was aware of something, and I wasn't tipped off straight away. She did tell me in the end. I did go, because I'm completely over the situation, completely over it. Do you know what I mean? I just think it was, for me, we was ride or dies, you know, and I would have liked her to have marked my card. But again, deep down, she didn't do. Do you know what I mean? It's a really tough one to kind of, whatever the word is in your head, to
explain.
Yeah, because it's just various things come into it. Okay, she's in a terrible situation, and years have passed, and then because it then all got brought up again, which it never needed to be. I'd like to sit down and catch up with another cup of tea or a bit of Vicky Sponge. Because in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that deep, and it's beef about old crap. Do you know what I mean? It's just I'm very truthful to me, and I can't be a Jekyll. If I'm upset about something, I'd rather tell you, because if we're best mates, we're gonna be honest with each other. But again, I don't hold her accountable, and I don't want it to look like I do. She was in a tough situation. I get it. 100 years have passed. We've had 58 prime ministers since then. I'm on 3 sets of teeth. I've got a new face. We've moved on. We've built bridges.